Hi everybody, it's Alyce-Kay Ruckelshaus from Threshold of Hineni. Today is Friday, no, it's Saturday. So it is a week and 6 days from when my husband was killed in a car crash. And I actually have a couple of things to do today, so I think I'm going to do it in two separate videos. One is something that I read that is kind of helping me, and the other thing is something that I've been going through for several days that I want to share about. So the first thing I'm going to share about is what I read, because I'm kind of afraid that I'll forget it. I'm reading a book right now by Nora McInerney. I think that's right. I will link it below. Someone sent it to me, and it came with no information. It came through Amazon, and I haven't been able to find out who sent it to me, so I think that they probably want to be anonymous. But if they're watching, please know I really appreciate it. It's a great book. It's something like It's Okay to Laugh or something like that. And I haven't gotten very far. It's like I read a paragraph here and there, like while I'm waiting for my dogs to come back in. But it's good. And she said something in the part that I read today about how going through something like this is like having your world turned upside down, but you learn to live with it. And I thought, wow, that is, it was encouraging. And I'll explain why. Because yes, I feel like my world's been turned upside down. I feel disoriented. I feel like I don't know how to function properly, which is, I guess, part of the disorientation. I feel like, like just everything's wrong, and I'm trying to find where I was. I think I had it where I was, but I lost my place. And I don't see the possibility of that going back to normal. And what I'm reading, I don't think that it does go back to normal. It's like you just always have this with you. Well, what she said about you learn to live with it, really spoke to me. Because it's like, okay, that's what I need to do. I need to reassess, what my life is, which I really probably won't know for a few weeks. There we go. I won't know for a few weeks because it's going to take a while to figure out money and what my routine needs to be and figure out what I want to do with my life now, because my life goals are going to be somewhat different because I don't have Bill. It's like there were things that we were going to do together, and some of those things I can still do by myself. Some of those things maybe I can find someone else to do with me, but a lot of those things I can't do without him. So some things are just going to have to change, and so I have to figure that out. So it's just going to take a while to figure out, but I'm learning, I guess, to rely on the insights of other people who have been through this. Because I feel so disoriented and lost, like every day, and not just at the beginning before I start work, but during work. I just feel like saying, like throwing my hands up in the air and saying, forget it. I'm not doing this. I just can't handle it, because I just want to go cry. But I know that someday I'm going to regret that if I do that. And so I'm kind of, I guess, investing now on that knowledge that someday I will be grateful to myself for not going completely crazy and, just walking out of my job and stuff. And just things like that, stuff that needs to be done that I don't feel like doing, it's not that I don't feel like doing, I really don't want to do because I want to just sit and cry. And so anyway, so it's kind of like that. I'm trusting people because there are many, many women who have been through the same thing that I've been through. Of course, not exactly the same. Nobody's experience is exactly the same. That's part part of the cornerstone of my ministry is that every person is completely different and has different gifts and experiences and everything. So I would never say that anybody's experience is the same as mine or that I completely understand what anybody else is going through. But there is enough understanding on other people's parts that I feel like I can trust what they're saying. And especially when it's consistently the same from one person to the other, you know, that, yeah, you're never going to forget him. There's always going to be this hole in your heart where he was, and you're always going to feel like you have just half a soul, but you're going to make it anyway. And I guess what she said, that you learn to live with it. The key word for me is learning. And for some reason that is very healing to me, that it is possible to learn, that I don't know it now, but it's possible for me to learn how to deal with it, I guess is what I'm saying is just a really key thing for me right now. And so how I'm going to learn to do that, I'm not exactly sure, but I'm a problem solver. You know, part of what I do is coach people. And so, you know, I help them figure out, you know, how to best reach their goals. I left this open for a day, and so I'm going to have problems with it here. So it's like, I can coach myself through this. I wish that I had the money to hire a coach, because coaching yourself is not really the best way to do it, but I don't have the money to hire somebody. I don't have the money to hire a counselor. I would really like to get counseling first and then have a coach. That would be ideal, but life isn't ideal, so that's that. But so what I'm going to do is, I think for the next month or two, I don't know how long. Okay, let me try my old glue. I still have an old bottle that's almost empty, but it's been hanging out upside down, so maybe it'll work. I think that first I want to, like, while I'm just going through this grief period, and I obviously don't want to make any big decisions, probably for like about a year or so. But part of what gives me hope is having plans, even if I don't ultimately follow through on those plans. Just the fact that I have plans is hopeful. And that's just how I am. I'm not sure that everybody's like that. I doubt it. But some of us are. I'm sure I'm not the only person. So I was talking with a friend of mine the other day online. We were chatting, and she's in a different country, and she's a doctor. And she's also been through some grief. And she was asking me, what my Myers-Briggs personality is, which I've had that test done a number of times, but pretty long ago. And I couldn't remember what I was. And I feel like my personality has really changed radically in the last few years because of just certain traumas and stuff. And I think that my personality, even though there are things that I think worry a lot of people, like my tendency to be more withdrawn and to be kind of like a hermit, there are things that I feel like they're actually good. If I'm going to try to get all 50 books written that I have in mind, I'm pretty much going to have to be a hermit. and I just, it's not that I'm antisocial. I'm on Facebook a lot, and everything. It's, you guys probably think I'm so weird, but that's just who I am now. I used to plan dinner parties and have people over to our house every single week, and sometimes more than once a week. And networking was really important to me, not, for a career, but just personally and stuff like that. And that's just, it's not who I am anymore. I'm just completely different. And it's not that I set out to change, but there were just really big things that happened that have changed me. And I'm not sure that it's for the bad. I really think that it helps me to be more razor focused now. And it's also helped me to determine what's really important to me and to be more focused on those things that are really important rather than the things that I think everybody else thinks I should do. And not necessarily what they think I should do, but what I think they should think I should do. because I am a people pleaser by nature, although I'm much less so now. Anyway, so what I was saying is, so I took a shortened version of the Myers-Briggs personality test that I found online, and I'll link that below. And reading what they came out for me, which was like totally right on, was very helpful because, it kind of helped me to, it's like whether I want to or not, I am embarking on a new life, one that I absolutely did not plan or have any idea that I was going to be doing. It's not like when you graduate from college, that you're going to have a new life starting. But, I had no idea that this was going to happen, and I would not have chosen it either. So I'm like completely unprepared. I like having things really planned. Like 4 years before my youngest child graduated from high school, I started planning what I was going to do when I had an empty nest. That's just how I am. I like to plan things ahead of time. I feel very insecure if I don't have a plan. And like I said, I don't necessarily live by that plan, but I want to have a plan so that I know that there are possibilities. Anyway, so this test, I think, gave me a lot to work with. And it was just really helpful. And I would love it if you take that test, if you put in the comments below, or contact me, through my website. But preferably in the comments below, because I think it's helpful to other people to read these things. But just like, if you take that test, tell me whatever you want. But what I'm most interested in is, how did it influence you? What ideas has it given you? And has it given you some hope? Yeah. So let's see, I need to do this one too. So anyway, yeah, so I did that. So I think I want to, in my summer journal, which I've barely written in yet, I think I want to set aside a few pages to just kind of brainstorm and write down like just ideas that come across my heart that of who I could be, because I'm at that place. I was talking in an earlier video about how I'm at that place where I can kind of determine who I want to be from this point on. And and that's a really significant thing. It's something that you don't want to waste, even though you don't feel, I don't want to right now. I'm hurting too much. But I do recognize that it's a really important place that may never come to me again. Hopefully never. It won't in this way again. But I mean, hopefully it'll never come to me again through some traumatic thing. But it's an opportunity, and it's interesting because crisis does bring opportunity, and I think I didn't really think of that until right now, but I think that's something that we need to learn to be aware of, is that crisis brings opportunity. And so we have to then position ourselves to take advantage of that. And, oh, cool. I didn't notice before that there's a fingerprint here. Oh my goodness. I'm going to not cover that because I really like that. Okay. Yeah. So, and then, I just want to have like a lot of ideas ready so that when I'm ready to start dealing with this and figure out what I want to be when I grow up, I'll have some ideas. And I think that the process of just writing down ideas will also help me to have hope, and it'll help me to figure out, like she said, your world's turned upside down, but you learn to live with it. I think that it'll help me to learn to live with it. And I really feel like what God's told me is that I need to not just live with it, but I need to thrive in it, to embrace it. And that's hard right now, but I trust that God will get me to that point. And, you know, I know enough other women who have been through similar things who have gotten to that point. And so I'm really, really relying on the experience of others right now for hope. You know, seeing the fact that others have gone through this and they've survived and even thrived is one of the things that helps me get through. So anyway, I think that's it for this video, and then I'm going to share about some other things in another video, which I might actually post before this one. Okay, if that made any sense. I love you all. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.